It's game time. Welcome back to New Paltz Sports Network, everyone. Your home for all athletic news, information, and updates for your New Paltz Hawks. I'm your host, Michael Ascanio. I'm a senior here, and I'm the center fielder on the baseball team. Every Monday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on WFNP 88.7 FM, we will dive into the journeys of our NCAA athletes from various sports here at SUNY New Paltz. I'll be bringing on student athletes here to have conversations to really get to know and give them the platform to share their experiences while playing here. So that's what to expect. I'm excited, and I'll get right into it. And we're live. We're in the studio for the 7th episode. Welcome, everyone. It's an exciting day. We got another huge guest in the house. She's a gamer, and I'm excited to introduce her. But first, I want to announce the upcoming home games this week before we get into it. All right, starting off on Wednesday, October 23rd, men's soccer plays versus the ranked number 19 Oneonta down at the South Turf at 3 p.m. And then women's basketball is also getting started up this Thursday, October 24th versus Mount St. Mary's. But that's a scrimmage, though, in the Hawks Center. So basketball season is upon us. The time is still to be announced. Women's volleyball plays Friday, October 25th versus SUNY Canton at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, October 26th, we got a big day ahead. There's 2 annual breast cancer awareness games hosted by SAC. Women's soccer plays down at the South Turf at 1 p.m. versus Oswego. Men's and women's swimming has their tri-meet at home at 1 p.m. And lastly, women's volleyball also has their senior day in the Hawks Center at 1:30 p.m. as well. So big Saturday slate, and things are heating up, so everyone pop out. So let's get into it. So to kick off the 7th segment in the Hawks hot seat, she was named to the All-SUNYAC first team in 2023, had a record-breaking 12 goals in a single season last year, and she's a dominant impact player for your New Paltz women's soccer team. I'd like to welcome senior forward from Oyster Bay, New York, number 10, Gaby Treble. Gaby, what's going on? Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So now before we get into it, as always, be sure to check out at New Paltz Hawks on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X for all game content and news. You can check out the photo gallery, game stats, game clips, and any other important information. You'll see Gaby and her teammates' pictures in the galleries and see all the dope flicks that Monica, Kate, and Ethan Scully take throughout the weeks. So today, basically the rundown, we'll be doing some more in-depth questions, then a big Hawk quick pitch. We got the most questions yet, and we'll finish off with some trivia. So, all right, let's get right into it. Gaby, thanks for coming on again. So to start off, you guys are sitting at 11 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. So you guys are rolling, and you're tied for the number 1 spot in the conference right now. You're tied with Cortland, 19 points. So how are we feeling headed into these final 2 regular season games versus Oneonta and Oswego?
I think we are fired up. We want to fight for that spot, that number 1 seed for our home SUNYAC final game, hopefully. So I think that's kind of like what we have our eyes on at this point, and it's kind of just time to like seal the deal, get the job done with these last 2 conference games. That
would be epic to host, right, down at the South Turf. I know you guys love the South Turf.
Love it.
In the white, that would be awesome. Yeah, I'm pulling for you guys. Yep, kick Oneonta and Oswego, kick their butt. So, all right, we'll keep going. As we know, so student athletes, we have a lot on our plates. You're majoring in physics. You're a huge catalyst for the team, and there's a lot going on in your daily life. So, what's a typical day like for you, balancing school, social life, and athletics?
I usually wake up pretty early no matter what we have going on that day, because even if we don't have like a 7 a.m. practice, there's definitely something that I need to be doing. Most of the time it's homework or research or writing a paper or something. But I always have a really good breakfast in the morning. I usually have a bagel. My parents bring me bagels from Long Island.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I freeze them, so I have them every day, basically. So I usually just eat a good breakfast and then kind of like do what I need to do before or after practice, and then hang out with my friends if I can. It's the highlight of my day.
Cool. So big early morning.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love a good bagel too. So now I figure it's also good to bring up that you are the president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, or SAC, that we like to call it. And you guys do some pretty cool stuff for the athletes and just the athletics program as a whole. So how's it been to be a part of that team and be the president of that? And what do you guys do specifically for people that don't know?
So like you said, SAC is Student Athlete Advisory Committee. I think every school has one, definitely in the SUNYAC.
Yeah.
But we kind of just focus on like getting athletes together as much as possible, and like one of our big goals this year was to have athletes going to more games. So we've seen a big increase in like different teams showing up to games. I have to shout out men's lacrosse. They've been at almost every single home game that we've had, and I think it's just important to have like a committee like SAC in our school, because it's like an athlete's perspective about interactions between other athletes. So I think it's an important like part of our school.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, everyone loves to have big support at your games. And yeah, shout out men's lax as well, because I actually thought that to myself recently. I do always see men's lacrosse always at the games. So yeah, that's awesome that they support, and it is important for all the athletes to go to the game. You know, it's cool.
Yeah.
Support each other. It's awesome. All right, so we're going to go to a quick PSA break so we could get into all the good stuff, but we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. This breaks my heart, and it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and gives it to families in need. To help, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hands can do incredible things. They made every sound in this piece of music. But nothing compares to using them to help save a life. If an adult suddenly collapses, call 911, then push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives. It's called hands-only CPR, and it's recommended by the American Heart Association. Visit handsonlycpr.org today. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
All right, we back. So we'll go right back. So, different subject, game day preparation. It's a huge thing. I've brought it up with a lot of the guests that I bring on the show, a lot of your teammates, but everyone has a different perspective. What's your pregame rituals or routines like on game day to get you in the right mindset?
So, on game day, me and my lovely friend Mia Baldinger, we always go and get coffee at Dunkin' before the home games, or even away games if we're going on the bus, if we can find the time. But Mia's a really positive person. She has a great like mindset surrounding sports, but really everything. So spending time around her before the game and just like connecting with one of my teammates who I'm super close with kind of like helps calm the nerves. Sometimes you go for walks and just like talk about soccer, even like things not soccer related, just to kind of like free the mind and try to relax before we head into the student athlete lounge for scout.
Oh, that's awesome. Shout out Mia. Good vibes in Dunkin'.
Obs.
That's a great way to start off pre-game day. All right, so this date should ring a bell. So September 23rd, 2023. Last year, it was a Saturday day game versus Buffalo State, where you set the school record for the most goals and points in a single game, scoring 4 goals, and you had 8 total points, dominating Buffalo State. So how did you feel that day? Did you have your Dunkin' that day in the morning? How locked in were you pre-game? And how did it feel to go home knowing you just made history and had such a great game and a bounce-back win?
We probably had Dunkin' that morning, I'll have to say. I don't think I felt differently, like, going into the game. We had talked about Buff State kind of being like a team that we didn't think we were going to really have to like fight that hard to win, not to kind of like...
Yeah, you guys were the favorites.
Yeah, So everyone else felt kind of comfortable in that, but we had only played them away my sophomore year, and it wasn't like a blowout kind of game. I think it was like 3-0 or maybe like 4-1 or something like that. So I didn't go in. I don't really try to go into any game kind of thinking like, oh, this is gonna be a blowout, like we're gonna light them up, because I think it's easy to get like carried away with that. So
yeah, you don't want to doubt anyone.
Yeah, I think cockiness is dangerous, especially in a game like soccer where anything can happen. So I think I was in a normal state and then just got into it.
You were in all the right spots.
Yeah,
huh?
I was in the right place at the right time.
8 points. I mean, that's unbelievable. 4 goals. Yeah, that's the school record. That is so amazing.
Thanks.
Now, I had your teammate, Rachel Iser, on the show last week, and I think it's worth noting that you and her both held the single-season goals record together, or you hold it. So, last year, you and her both scored 12 goals on the season, the most ever scored in New Paltz history for women's soccer. So, how cool is it to etch your name in history like that and know that you had one of the most dominating offensive seasons ever?
It's a fun feeling. We obviously didn't know that we were anywhere even like close to that, and even with the 4 goals, like I had no idea that was like something that they kept track of, really. But it's obviously a cool feeling to know that you're hitting that like level in your own game, and to do it with Rach right next to me is even more fun. So it felt good.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And it's also cool because the day after I had Rachel on this show, she also had a hat trick. So not 4, but 3, which is still unbelievable.
Obviously.
So yeah, you guys have been killing it. So then on the flip side, how cool is it to hold that title with your teammate and friend? Do you guys push each other often? Are you determined to beat each other's record? Is there friendly comp there? Or are you guys just appreciative that you can both stand in history together?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think we're happy to be right next to each other in that. But I think Rachel is definitely like a big push for me, especially like every day in practice. I can't speak for her, but it's just good to have like almost like one of your best friends that's also like not your biggest competitor, obviously, because we're on the same team and we have the same goals, but just like someone right there to like push you to just get better and better every single day. So we definitely push each other, I would say. Yeah,
totally. You guys both feed off that energy, and great chemistry on the field. You guys have been absolutely killing it on offense. So in terms of this year, you guys are looking to make history again in back-to-back years. Right now, with only a few games to go, you specifically have 11 goals on the season. So how confident are you that you can bang a few more goals and beat your previous record? With that, now, it's not... There's a difference between being cocky and confident, too.
Yes. I think we try not to think about, like, scoring a certain amount of goals. It's kind of just, like, focusing on the little things to lead up to just being in the right place at the right time, and just kind of, like, when you're in that position that you need to do what you need to do for the team more than yourself. Yeah,
like thinking, you don't want to think so individually, right?
Yeah.
You just hope to be in that flow state, be in the right spots, and hope your teammates help out with that, because they're a huge component to that too.
Yeah, of course.
But and for the listeners, Gaby has scored 6 goals in her past 4 games, so completely tearing it up, and good luck and keep going. I believe. So on a deeper vibe, as athletes, we do develop certain skills on the field that translate into other areas of life. What are some skills that you've developed through soccer that you think will benefit you outside of sports?
I think the biggest thing for me is like communication, not only on the field but also off the field. I think there's a lot of different kind of team dynamics that can go on between like teammate to teammate, like athlete to coach. So I think just communicating like how you feel, what your expectations are, and also just like holding yourself and your teammates and your coaches accountable is kind of like the biggest thing that I probably take with me off the field would be communication.
Yeah, Totally. I mean, communication is key, right? I would say, teamwork is also a huge one. You sort of in your answer too. Even just time management, especially being a student athlete. Discipline, preparation, leadership. I mean, there's so much. The list can go on and on. I think there is so many things that you learn while being on the field, and then you take that off the field. So it's cool, and it's a pleasure that we get to experience that.
Yeah, privilege for sure.
Yeah. So, on another note, is there any advice that you would give to younger soccer players who want to play at the college level, or even advice to your younger self?
I would say just remember that you're here to have fun at the end of the day. Like, we're here because we love our sport, and we get to play for 4 more years, which not everybody gets to do. So I'd say remember that. And then for people who want to play in college, I'd say that especially during the recruiting process, it's very important to remember that you love the sport and you're here to have fun rather than get caught up in like everything that happens when you're trying to get recruited. It's a difficult time.
Yeah, and don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be too hard on yourself. That's huge. Excuse me. So lastly, as you look ahead to the rest of the season and beyond, what legacy do you hope to leave at SUNY New Paltz, both on and off the field? And how much would it mean to you that after 4 years, with all the memories, good times, bad times, on the field, off the field, with the girls at New Paltz, to hoist the SUNYAC championship?
The SUNYAC championship, I don't even think I can have words to describe what that would mean to our team. As far as like a legacy goes, I think that on the field and just in practice and in games and everything, our team talks a lot about like a hatred to lose. And I think that I take that like super personally. So I think as far as on the field, I think just like in practice, it's important to have the same mindset that you have in a game. So a hatred to lose, a want to win is kind of like that piece of it. And then I think off the field is just like being empathetic to everybody who you meet, like your teammates, your coaches, your professors, people in your class. So I think that definitely for a legacy.
Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. I've talked to a ton of your teammates. I think the girls are ready. They're locked in, and they're ready to go to war and hoist that championship. No, the awesome answers. I'm glad I was able to get your insight. So, you know what? We're going to go to a quick PSA break again, and we'll get right into the Hawk quick pitch right after.
Let's put out this campfire.
Dad, Smokey the Bear said to...
Brown it with water, then stir it with a shovel and repeat until cool.
Wow! Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you facing foreclosure? Then come down to Megalo and Partners. We're a mortgage rescue company, and we can help you keep your house, provided you submit to our plans for galactic domination. No, I'm kidding.
If you're facing foreclosure, talk to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE. Brought to you by NeighborWorks America and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back. We're going to go quick because we only got around 9-10 minutes. So we're going to do Hawk quick pitch, shoot out a bunch of questions at you, answer as fast as you can.
Got it.
All right, let's go. What's the last show you binge watched?
I think I binge watched Suits over the summer. I think that's the last one.
I've heard that's a good one.
Yeah.
Go-to karaoke song?
More Than My Hometown by Morgan Wallen.
Favorite thing to do when you're not on the field?
Go to the gunk and swing in our hammocks, definitely.
What's your pro soccer player comparison?
Lionel Messi.
Most used app on your phone?
It's got to be TikTok, for sure.
Best memory from a road trip?
Probably when we took ice baths in a kiddie pool when we were at the Drew tournament, and we all individually had like our ice buckets from our hotel room, and we were just going back and forth to the ice machine.
Oh my god.
It was funny.
Game day superstitions?
I don't have any.
You're not superstitious?
I try to get away from superstitions because I think you control what you can control, and that's it.
True. Yeah, that's lucky, though. I'm a huge superstitious guy. I got an insider tip. You guys do weekly movie nights. Favorite movie?
Now You See Me Too.
Favorite class you've taken at New Paltz?
Curriculum and assessment.
Home? Do you like the home or away jersey better?
Away. Like the blue.
Oh, you like the blue? Best quality a teammate can have?
Communicative.
What's one thing people would be surprised to learn about you?
I'm half Argentinian. So my mom's from Argentina. Shout out, Mom.
Favorite opposing field to play on?
I think Wednesday Oneonta is my favorite field.
You like Oni?
Yeah.
What's something on your college bucket list you still want to do before you graduate?
Pull it all-nighter with my friends.
That's cool. Favorite pro soccer team?
San Diego Wave.
What's one rule you would add to soccer if you could?
No offsides.
Biggest inspiration?
Definitely my mom. Shout out, Mom, again.
Favorite music artist?
Noah Khan.
Oh, I like him too.
By far.
Most competitive teammate?
I'm going to go with Brooke Kelleher.
Funniest teammate?
Maddie Franklin.
What's your mud puddle order?
So I don't like eggs, so mud puddle is hard for me, but usually they have like a special, so I usually do whatever the special is, but without eggs. And then for coffee, I like a chai latte.
Cool. Out of everyone on the team, who are you giving aux?
I'm going to have to say Addison.
Addison?
Yeah.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Morning, definitely.
What was the reason for your switch from number 23 to number 10?
I've been 10 since I was like a kid, so I wanted 10, but it was taken when I got here, so I went with 23 for MJ. But then I went back to 10 when I got available.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And not a question, but name every instrument you could play.
Guitar, piano, flute, and oboe.
Wow. And now, which is your favorite to play?
Guitar, definitely.
Oh, that's awesome. Acoustic or electric?
Acoustic.
I was more of the recorder guy in elementary school, but that is awesome.
It's funny.
Now, also, everyone be sure to vote for the Hawk Athlete of the Week on @NewPaltzHawks Instagram story and website. You could click the link and vote for whoever you want, whoever you think had the best performance this week. Voting starts every Monday and ends Tuesdays at 11 a.m., so tomorrow at 11. It's only open for 24 hours, so be sure to get your votes in. And you listeners literally get to choose the next guest on the show as well. So who do you think had the best week, and who would you like to hear on the show? Now, I'm going to give a quick rundown and highlight some of our players and teams from this past week across all sports. So we'll start right with women's soccer. These girls are scorching hot right now. They're on a 6-game win streak and beat Plattsburgh and Buff State this past week. They're just killing it. Rachel Iser and Gaby have been scoring left and right. And Maddie Franklin has been a brick wall, too. So shout out women's soccer, of course. Men's soccer, they had a tough loss at Plattsburgh on Wednesday, 1-0. But they bounced back and beat Buff State 2-0 on their senior day at home for a great win, thanks to goals from Tim Kane and Ryan Zindler. Women's volleyball, they did take some tough losses to Cortland and Morrisville. But they're looking to bounce back against SUNY Can at home Friday. Field hockey also went down to number 5 ranked Christopher Newport and lost 4-2. They're a really good team. But I think it'll be good for them to recenter and lock in for their rival at Cortland on Saturday. And Gabby, have you seen the new North Turf since it got redone, by the way?
Yeah, gorgeous.
It's beautiful. Everyone check it out and pop out. And then men's cross country finished 18 out of 30, and women's finished 20 out of 31 teams in their meet at Rowan. So they'll bounce back to get ready for SUNYACs on November 2nd. So we'll go quick trivia time. Can you name the 2 teammates that assisted you for your 2 goals versus Buff State in your historic game last year?
One's got to be Rachel.
Who was the other?
Lexi?
Nope, Mia Baldinger.
Oh, I knew that.
Do you know the most wins that women's soccer has had in a season?
Out of how many? Like, conference?
No, straight up.
12.
14 in 2011. Second place was 12 wins in 2012, which you guys are sitting at 11 right now with 2 games to go. So you could put yourself in history there. Do you know which game you played the most minutes in out of your 3 years here?
Scranton?
Yup. And how many minutes did you play? 80, 75, 82, or 79?
I'll go with 80.
82. 82 minutes. That's the most you've ever played. And now, fun fact, the most SUNYAC wins in women's soccer history here in a single season is sitting at a three-way tie for 6 wins in 1999, 2011, and 2022. So you guys have already tied that record right now. I don't know if you knew that, but I think you guys are going to beat it. And also, speaking of records, you guys do sit in sole possession of the most consecutive conference game win streak at 6. So you just broke that in these past 6 games. The last team that held that record at 4 was in 2010. Excuse me. And lastly, how many goals have you scored in your career? 29, 25, 30, or 32?
I forget what you just said.
How many goals have you scored in your career? 29, 25, 30, or 32?
25.
29. So you're close. All right. I'm going to that's the little trivia. I like doing that now. So I'm going to repeat the home games. So Wednesday, October 23rd, men's soccer plays Oneonta at the South Turf on 3 p.m. Gabby, are you going to that game?
On Wednesday?
Yeah, you got to.
I'm going to be at Oneonta.
Playing. That's a blooper.
I'm busy.
That's
sorry.
A blooper.
Busy.
But she would have been.
Definitely.
Everyone go.
For sure.
Women's basketball has a scrimmage Thursday, October 24th versus Mount St. Mary. Women's volleyball plays Friday, October 25th versus SUNY Canton at 6 p.m. And Saturday, October 26th, we have the 2 annual breast cancer awareness games. Women's soccer at 1 p.m. versus Oswego. And men's and women's swimming has their tri-meet at home at 1 p.m. And then, women's volleyball also has their senior day in the Hawk Center at 1:30 p.m. as well. So, and then for away games, field hockey plays tomorrow, Tuesday, October 22nd at Montclair State at 6 p.m. And then Saturday, October 26th, men's soccer faces off against Oswego at 12 p.m. And lastly, field hockey has a huge rival game at Cortland on their hunt for vengeance at 1 p.m. All right. And to finish up, sorry guys, little technical difficulties over here. Can't be perfect all the time. As always, I really appreciate anyone tuning in. It's the 7th show so far, and it's been amazing. I've had an absolute blast. Be sure to come by next Monday live from 7:30 to 8 p.m. on WFNP 88.7 FM for more news, updates, and another special guest appearance from the New Paltz Athletic Hawk of the Week. That'll be revealed later this week on all socials, so stay tuned. Gabby, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
It's really been a pleasure to get to know some of the women's soccer team. I got a good feeling about them this year, and especially with playoffs right around the corner. And to conclude the 7th segment with the lyric of the week from the song Shine by Mike, put them bright lights on, I'll shine on them. Roll Hawks. Peace.